Greetings all. Welcome to episode 3 of, what do we call this thing? The Racing Line. I'm all out of sync. We got more people to deal with this week than what I'm used to. So thanks to my co-host, Jason, for joining us. Adam's back this week. And as you can see, we've got a fourth sitting here. Megan Overstreet is already joining us to help us do some reviews and stuff. So thank you, Megan.
Let's go, Megan.
Yeah. So last time we saw Adam was a couple of weeks ago, and he had just had something happen that totally flipped his world upside down. I think he was still in shock when we were doing our broadcast, so we didn't go into it a whole lot. But I'll give Adam a couple of minutes to say hi and kind of tell everybody what has happened in his life.
Hi, my name is Adam, and I'm a broadcaster. But no, it was a bit, I guess unexpected, you would say. I guess to start out with the whole Weekend Warriors lineup, Formula Vs, SRFs, FFs, you found me this season for you guys and came in. So it started a great partnership, and I'm super excited for that, and I hope that continues on. But Stevie, I had to give you a bit of a ring a couple weeks ago. I had just finished. I can't remember the racetrack. I think that whole day was a blur after I walked out to the living room, and there was
an action-packed Spec Racer Ford race.
Yep. I walked out to the living room, and there was a sign on the living room table that said "Baby Thompson expected in April 2025." So it was a bit. To say the least, it was overwhelming. Super excited. We've been trying for about a year now, so super excited for all that to finally happen. But I mean, obviously, on the downside of that is I'm stepping away from the slow motion broadcasting role as the owner of it. We've got things in place that are going to keep slow motion broadcasting going. Daniel Salmon is a great guy, very energetic, to say the least. But seems like he wants the best for slow motion broadcasting. He's getting some practice, obviously, with us right now, and also on his Pit Road Productions that he has on YouTube. And he's going to combine those two, and hopefully makes it does more with it than I can do right now, and then definitely could be able to do with the baby on the way. So I'm stepping back from that, just going to spend time, but don't worry, I'll still be here on the podcast side of things. So you're not totally getting rid of me, Stevie.
Let's go.
Well, that's good. But congratulations to you. And said, I think our first broadcast here 2 weeks ago, you were still kind of in shock. So
I had just found out. I had a day to process that. So
all right. Well, our format, we say hi to everybody and introduce, and then we kick right off and go into the review of the Weekend Warriors races this past week. So that I'm going to kick it over to you three this week and let Jason do his screen share and show you the race, and you guys can talk it through it.
Oh. So that's a interesting feature. So I can't actually change the camera while we're recording, Stevie.
Oh no!
So unfortunately, we're gonna have to do a screen share again.
Yeah, we're learning this as we go along, guys. So bear with us. We're working on getting a producer in here to use some what we call the OBS and do some work like that. So there we go.
So we will have audio.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. Stand by.
Should have some V's from Saturday. There we go.
Well, I think we're going to deal with the same thing, but I think I can talk us through mostly what was going on here, Jason. Obviously, it wasn't a huge field. We were at Zandvoort. Super impressed, actually, with the Vs there. I was worried that it was going to start breaking up and we were going to have, like, packs of onesies, twosies, but it stayed super close. I won't give away the ending, to say the least.
Had an issue getting it started, so that was one reason we had kind of a smaller field.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
everybody
But it was still
had some teamwork and got together and got it.
Yeah, it was still great. I mean, in this battle up front, Jacobsen and Marzucci, most of the race this was going on. Stasinski was there for a little while. And then, Michelle Lynn is always around. The woman is just, she's crazy good.
She's really quick. Yeah, I think during the broadcast, they were talking about how it was surprising that people were getting the chicane wrong, but it seems like in every car that chicane causes issues.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Hansen was obviously the first issue there, but, I mean, now we're on Buttermore. I think Buttermore had an issue. There were 5 or 6 drivers at one time or another that were going off into the same exact spot right here. Buttermore just gets it wrong, and he's going to go around. He just gets all of these drivers were having an issue through there at one point or another.
Yep. Yeah, the lift-off oversteer in the V's is very difficult to manage, and in that corner, the weight transfer, you got to get it just right.
I mean, that's a good point, too, especially with a corner like that. It's such a tight right-hander, so if you do get any lift-off oversteer, you're trying to catch it left, and you're catching it straight into the bunker over there. But, yeah, this got super interesting at the end here.
Yep.
If that's about, I think, where we're getting to. It was a game of cat and mouse, to say the least, the last lap or two. It was something else. We were worried. We were wondering if Marzucci, what he was going to do, because he was out in the lead for so long. And here we go. Yeah, he's out in the lead for so long. And then finally, he decided a little bit late to try to come back. And watch Alan DeGassis here. This guy comes out of nowhere. I thought he was going to be a part of this battle. This same thing happened at Nürburgring in the SRFs. So
I watched Jeff's video recording. Check him out on YouTube. Little Blue Neon is his YouTube channel. I don't think Guido was actually lifting. He was just defending. So he and props to him. He didn't really play any games or anything, but he did everything possible that he could to defend.
He did.
And he almost pulled it off here at the end.
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, I figured that Guido may have tried to get back behind Jeff, but he didn't. He was just going flat out. Guido catches a little bit. I noticed that, and I wonder if that hurt him just a little bit on the exit. But
I
at
think
that
they
point,
both hit the gravel here, to be honest.
Yeah, and Jeff's already caught him at this point, and then it's just, I mean, it's straight out drag race now, all the way to the end.
This is as much as Guido could do here on the exit. So he moves a little high, but he still leaves the space.
Yep.
Jeff has to it kills off some of his speed. The closest of finishes.
Oh man, yeah. That is just awesome.
And that wasn't the only one. I mean,
well.
you've got Lynn and Wobolt that are battling right behind him. I mean, it was a crazy, or Lynn and DeGassis, my bad. I mean, that was 9/1000ths of a second between third and fourth too.
That's not even. That's a huge gap compared to the 4 thousandths for the win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just another day in the Weekend Warriors.
I know.
Let's go, Jeff.
He said he was hyped. So excited after that. I think correct me if I'm wrong, he said that's the first time he's ever won a Weekend Warriors race.
That's what he told me. That
it's first ever win
of any league, any Weekend Warriors league. Said I wouldn't have thought that. He's been around a long time and been a good racer. So
let's go, Jeff.
Yes.
Oh, so hyped. Still hyped just thinking about it. He drove a great race, a smart race. They both did. And yeah. So it was good.
It was very good.
Unfortunately, since that was not a league structured race, they had to make it a hosted race. Jimbo is still working on getting the points done and the bonuses and what the drops is. So we'll have the points up probably tomorrow on the website. So I don't have those to share tonight.
I was talking to Michelle as all of this was going on, and I mean, I'm a league owner too. I get it. Stuff like this happens, but it is one of the most infuriating things that could ever happen to have all of this set up so much in advance.
Yeah.
And then it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
Yeah. And I was at work on my cell phone. There wasn't a whole lot I could do and try to point them in the right direction. But yeah, all the guys worked together and got it done one way or another. So props to Michelle and Jimbo was on the phone with them and Jeff and everybody. So good job. All right. We move on to the Formula Fords. Maybe.
Yep. I wonder if I can actually get the...
We will. This will get smoother, by the way. We promise. We will make this happen. I was just... while I am stepping back from SMB, I have maybe just a little bit of production experience that I might be able to use when it comes to stuff like this. So, yeah, we're gonna nail this one of these days. Don't you worry. If you guys have ever watched my podcast, it was a train wreck the first couple as well. So
yeah, we keep getting better. Said Joshua Wilkie has promised to help us on the production side too, and he's a little busy getting a wedding right now. So as soon as that's out of the way, he said he would be with us. So a wedding, a baby. I mean, what a community
absolutely.
we got. Huh?
I know. Yeah, everything's popping off all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Nope. So yeah, Formula Fords, Oran Park. I think Megan's pretty good at this track, right?
Yeah, I really enjoy the track, and it's sad it doesn't exist no more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw some posts that they were happy it didn't exist. It was crazy.
That was, I believe, Randall McGrew was in on this one.
Yeah. Randall was not a fan.
Randy. Oh, yep. I first incident. I remember that one.
Yeah, off. Yeah, I wonder who caused that.
I have no idea.
Racing incident, right? That's what it was.
Yeah.
It's all you can chalk it up to. It was so many cars in such a small area. It just.
Don't worry. We get to show it again just in case we just to make sure.
Oh, yeah, I included that. I included it the replay. So this was the secondary incident. It was kind of unrelated, but it caught up a lot more cars. And
it did.
It's just the classic Turn 1 Oran Park. I think that one of the first ever YouTube videos I posted was of the SRFs here. One of my first ever races when I went from like 15th to like 3rd. Yeah. Because it went like this. Yeah, we were 3 wide into Turn 1. I got into the gravel or onto the dirt a little bit. And yeah, Monty was just a little too far to the outside, and I clipped his rear wheel and spun him around. So yeah, that was my fault. Sorry again, Monty.
I mean, it was a good recovery drive, though.
Oh yeah,
honestly. So,
for both he has had some atrocious luck this season, the whole season.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get any damage from that, Jason?
Yeah, so I had nose cone damage, just a little bit.
Okay.
I could use it as an excuse to say that's why I was so slow, but I don't really think it actually cost me that much speed. I was just slow overall. So. This one was a weird
there goes
incident.
another one.
Yeah, that's when Cathcart almost went to the moon. I remember that one, too.
Yeah. So, the yellow car is a lap down, and Kevin Adrian tries to send it around the outside, and, this gets it a little wrong, and Mullen gets caught up in it.
Yep.
And then Brad takes the scenic route to avoid. Here's Ishmael going to the lead. This was so good by Brandon to not get taken out there. So Brandon was the car in the lead, and I believe that was Andrew Lau.
Yep.
Right behind him. So yeah, that's
Andrew
the
Lau,
corner that makes this track so difficult. Just gets a little wrong, and Brandon lets off the brakes and runs wide to not get taken out. Jeff trying his best to get past Fabian there. And here's what happens if you Here's what could have happened to Brandon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, this was impressive by David.
No.
Yeah. Ow,
That was an impressive spin.
Yep.
Yep. What happened here? Yeah, so Antonio had an incident earlier. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Ishmael. I believe Brandon, Andrew, and Daniel all had issues. Daniel had his wheel rim disconnected earlier in the race.
No.
I almost killed him because he was like weaving right before the bridge. So I had to dive on the inside of him. So he lost a bunch of time there. Andrew had his spin, and then Brandon spun on his own right after his pit stop.
Yep.
So that gave Ishmael the 4 second lead, and Ishmael, he's super quick.
He is.
You give him any advantage, you're not going to chase him down.
And all week long, he was talking in the forum about how he hated the track, how slow he was.
Yeah.
During
how much
the
of
race,
a problem.
during the race, he was still saying that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ishmael, great win, man.
Yeah. It's his first or second race with us, I think.
Second, yeah.
Second,
Yeah, last week
yeah.
at Imola was his first.
Yep. Got some fast blood coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you do.
Oh, I guess I got the I messed up the order there, but yeah, that's fine. And heartbreak for Andrew. He was driving so well under pressure for the last stint of the race,
Mm-hmm.
and just overcooks it a little bit into the last corner. Daniel was putting all of the pressure on him for the last 2 or 3 laps. It's the very last corner.
Yep, and just
Great save though, to not break the car.
yeah, you get loose in that last corner, you're in the wall, and it's done. So
Yeah,
good
Ishmael
win
with the
for
win.
Ishmael.
Always great to have Brandon join us.
Yep.
Super quick IndyCar driver. Also race with him, or whenever I get in the same split as him, race with him there.
Okay.
So always happy to have him join us. Daniel also, I believe it's his second race with us as well.
I
I
think
want to
so.
say Imola was his first race, so another, as well as, or actually it might be Daniel's first race, Andrew's second race with us.
Yes,
So yeah,
that sounds
another great
right.
finish for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
So yeah, all 4 of them super great, quick drivers. Soren, great finish for him to stay out of trouble and get a top 5. And then Chris Montgomery gets the S2 win. I think I forget if I actually included that clip, but after the crash, I think y'all were Dan and I think was Randall on the commentary here, but they were saying that we haven't talked about him this entire race, and now he's in the Spec 2 lead.
Yep.
So great job for him staying out of trouble. Antonio gets the Masters win.
That's basically sealed at this point, right? That's sealed the
Pretty much,
championship.
Yeah, I've got some points to throw up in a minute. So.
And then Jeff gets the P10. So yeah, I hopped in the interview after the race, and I was exhausted. This is as Megan can attest, it's a fun track to drive, but it's very mentally and physically draining.
You don't get a break. Yep, you don't get a break on it.
Mm-hmm. Constantly on the edge of the track and of grip. So, yeah, very difficult. Well, lots of fun.
All right, if you want to pull that down, I'll throw up my screen share if I can find it here, and we'll look at some points real quick. I'm working on it.
Sorry, I'm not talking to you, Stevie.
Oh,
my
I
bad.
thought you were talking. Yeah, it's like, all right. So there you go. That's the overall. And you can see Antonio is well up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, even with his the couple of spins and the ninth place finish, that might be his worst finish of this season.
Yeah, could be. Well, he's got 9 races, but it depends on what his throwaways are. I mean, he could theoretically pop over you there. I don't know what your worst race is or anything. So, I mean, the only different way you're going to improve points now is just to have a better race than your worst, and then you get the difference in the points. So that's you two are really tight there.
Yep. Well, I mean, he's got the extra bonus points, so that he can get, and I can't for leading masters. So there's no chance for me to get left led in the in spec 1 now. So.
And here we go. Here's just the spec 1, guys. And once again, you can see James Berry is well out in front.
Yeah, I was hoping to gain some ground on him since he wasn't there this week, but just not fast enough.
And then McConnell and Adrian are relatively close. That could be depending on the races. So.
Yeah, I think and Michael had a good finish or a good clean race. So I think he has a couple of big drop weeks. So he could definitely gain a lot of ground.
And then the Spec 2 guys.
Yeah,
David Floyd. Yeah.
David was super quick again at Oran Park. Just had the incident where he lost a little bit and it got run over, unfortunately. So he's got the pace. Just needs to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, but it's going to take 90 points from Bill Walker to get to him. So.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've seen crazier things happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just possible. Bill can do it.
Yeah.
He's got the pace.
Yeah. 90's a second overall, I think he'd have to grab to get there. So could be. So
can happen.
Now,
next week, it can happen.
And Antonio's kind of got that one locked down.
Yep.
Especially if I keep crashing out Monty.
Yeah. Yeah. And do we even
that's
have
my
a
goal
bet?
for the next race?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, if Jim comes back, him and Brad Cathcart could get in a battle for the last podium spot there.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Serfs, SRFs.
We go to the ring.
Hell yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. The longest track.
And huge. I said it in the SMB Discord, but huge props to Randall for doing the commentary for the entire quali lap.
He did.
The entire 9 minute and I think it was a 42-second lap.
I lost $1 on that, by the way.
And he did every single corner. Didn't miss a beat. Didn't make any mistakes. It was incredible.
Yeah, I told him.
That was really good.
He goes, "Hey, do you want me to do this whole thing?" I was like, "I bet you $1 that you can't." He goes, "Bet." He just did the whole thing, and I lost $1 over that exchange.
Amazing.
I have been impressed all season with his knowledge of the tracks and racecraft and everything that he knows. It's
This start was wild. Had a couple people trying to jump it a little bit.
Yeah, we went 4 wide before you even hit the green lights here.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't too impressed with them for doing that. But
you don't necessarily have to wait for the green light. The rule as it stands is once the pace car pulls in and you're on that front straight,
it's a leader's prerogative.
The pole leaders, he has control of it. So
sure.
Yeah, the problem is that people behind the leader were not waiting for him to go.
Yeah.
There may have been some confusion with the when it would come out because it's an F1 track, so it's the start of the grid and not the start finish line. is when it comes out. But yeah, we despite being 5 wide, everybody made it through turn 1. I was shocked. I thought for sure we were going to crash. This was a super close incident, though. Felix runs a little wide through the fast left-hander, and Ishmael almost or bangs doors with him a little bit. We make it through okay.
This battling back here, though, really helped that top 3. I mean, it turned into, or the top 4, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to turn into a 4-car breakaway, and then it didn't.
Yeah, this helped. Alish does such a good job of saving that. That could have been a huge crash. He's stuck on the inside and then clips the curb. Yeah, so great driving from him and Brandon to not crash there. Yeah, that lets Felix catch up, and then also lets Fritcher, myself, and Joshua get back onto the draft. Yeah, the commentary right now was Dan talking about the sticker on the back of Maurizio's car and how he's choosing to ignore it.
Yeah. He goes at one point, he goes, "Are they bump drafting?" Randall goes, "No." "Yes, they are."
You can with these a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, this is prime. I mean, this is the craziest of the draft here.
Yes.
Down the straight. This is where you learn how the draft tactics.
Keep this in your mind, because this is going to come back on the last lap.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But yeah, with that many cars in the pack down the straightaway, whoever's at the end of the pack is going to be in the front by the end of the straight, pretty much. Which was Ishmael, I believe, and puts him into the lead. Felix manages to nab it back, though.
Is he... I may have gotten this wrong, because his I rating is a little bit lower. And for some reason, in the SRFs, he was like under 3K. He was like 2,800, I believe. Is he a pro in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ishmael?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've got him sitting here in the green, so that's on me. Ishmael should be in red, not in green.
Yeah, he's in the Spec 1 in the Formula Ford, so we just kept him Spec 1 here. So,
gotcha. Oh, I included this because you. I can't believe you did this to Bobby, Adam.
What I do?
Very mean.
Oh.
So, like this wasn't a replay. He switched to Bobby, and then 5 seconds later.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how you predicted that or what kind of black magic you did to pull that off, but you
It's like that Max Verstappen meme where he just goes and he kicks something and it just makes it crash. That's what I did there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That was not good. There were a lot of issues going through there. A lot of people were understeering.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the very tricky section of the track for sure. Not that there's an easy part of this track, but this was after the pit stops. Maurizio and Alish pulled a little bit of a gap. Brandon lost the draft because he overshot his pit box. So that lost him about 3 seconds. Super common thing to do there for Felix.
Yeah.
It's you going through that corner, you think there's all of the grip on the outside there, but as soon as you try it, you're just straight into that wall.
Yeah, and coming over the top of that hill, you lose all the downforce too. Mm-hmm. All the mechanical grip is gone.
Yep. And then you're going like 10, 15 miles an hour faster with the draft.
Yep.
Maurizio managed to... So Alish underfueled, so he's heavy fuel saving.
Yeah, we noticed. We were talking about that a lot.
Maurizio also underfueled, so that's why his 2-second gap disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And why Brandon was able to close the gap down a little bit as well with Maurizio, because Felix and Hayden didn't want to pass Maurizio for obvious reasons.
Right. Yeah.
And I think Maurizio was fuel saving, so that lets Brandon close up the gap a little bit.
Pulled everybody back
Brandon,
to him. Yeah.
This is what I'm talking. None of us thought. Brandon came out of freaking nowhere here, and we all thought they were trying to play games with each other to get the position on the back straight.
Oh yeah, for sure. But you don't want to be in the lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was.
And here comes Brandon.
Maurizio, yeah, here he comes. Maurizio was fuel saving and slowing everybody down.
Yep.
And brought Brandon into the battle.
He was just a little closer.
I mean, this was a full sin by Brandon going into this final corner.
Yeah. Yeah, that draft is crazy there. 2x2.
It's the classic last lap.
Mm-hmm.
Little net code. And Felix is so lucky not to get a 4X there.
Yes.
Because there was contact.
That would have put him over the...
Mm-hmm. He was sitting on 11 inks, so if he had gotten a 4X, that would have been a penalty. Super lucky.
Yeah.
Photo finish at the line.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not even close. 15,000.
No.
It's not the 4,000 of the Formula Vs.
Yeah.
Here's a battle further back with Joshua Justice, Evandro, and Antonio.
Is Evandro newer too? Because that's the first time I've seen his name around.
No, he hasn't done many races this season, but he's been with us a while. And then they that little spice thrown in there from a green car getting in their way.
Yeah.
And Joshua Wilkie gets so lucky.
So whose green car was that?
I don't know. I've seen it around.
You had fuel issues as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got a little help into the wall from Joshua at the lap before I pitted. So in my fuel calculation was based on being in the draft. So
right. Yeah.
I thought I would start sputtering out of the last corner, and it turned out to be halfway down the straightaway.
No.
Man.
So I barely made it up the hill.
I was going to say that is all uphill from there.
Yep. I was praying to get it to get up the hill, and then I saw them approaching my mirror, and got a little angry on my recording. So.
There was
Can't imagine.
There was a video. I think we went back because we thought there was a crash. Jurg, I think, suffered the same fate, and someone tried to push him up the hill.
Yeah,
and he was
Andrew.
like, forget about it.
Andrew tried to push him up the hill.
He said,
I think a lot of people thought it would only be 4 laps.
But
it was close, but it's always going to be 5 there.
Sure.
Our longest race of the season. And it's I'm glad we had a pack of more than 2 or 1 car at the front. It's always always a great finish there because of the draft. Yeah, Hayden gets, I think it's the second or third race with us, I think, and
he was excited
gets
too.
The win at the ring. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, we just got a note from Guido on the Formula Ford race saying that he confirms he was defending and not lifting. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, good to hear from Guido.
Yeah, and Guido's a great driver, super quick. And he did everything he could to defend there with short of straight up blocking Jeff for running him off the road. So props to him for that. All
right.
Yeah, Jeff Fritcher gets the Masters win. Let's go, Jeff. Another P5. I think he got that last week as well. So again, that's where I expect him to finish.
All guys can still get it done.
Joshua punted me off the track, and so he gets Spec 2 win. It was mostly my fault, but it's fine. Joshua Justice, great finish from him. P7.
Yep. He's improved a lot this season.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I guess we can move on.
All right.
Move on to points.
And here we go. So there's the overall. And wow, there's like 1, 2, 3 masters in that one.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell which one I'm favoring, huh?
I was going to say, you seem to have a bit of an affinity towards the Masters division here.
Yeah, well,
Stevie.
I'm well up into it, so I like to see that. So, yeah. So, let's...
Dan's still in P4 overall. Let's go, Dan.
Yep. So, let's see if we can look at just the Spec 1 guys. There you go. And looks like the top 4 all
P3
have...
overall. Let's. Sorry, I'm just typed that Dan is still in the top 5.
Oh,
He's he's been putting in a lot of work at it.
yep,
And yeah, it's just been steadily improving over the last couple of seasons. So
yep,
super glad to see him. Joshua also having a great season.
yep.
You better
Could have a
watch
little
out for
battle
Alish there, Jason.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, Elash is faster than me, so I have to use
Depends
all the
on-
tricks, I
depends
can
on what
to
kind of-
finish from him.
Depends on what kind of throwaways you got.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, spec 2. Yeah, it's a little closer up there. Well, no, what am I looking at? What am I did?
Yeah, we're
Still on spec 1.
Yeah.
Seeing this spec 1, yeah.
All right, did I not get spec 2? I don't have the spec 2 points. Oh no. I don't believe I did that. War Masters, come on. Steve, you're getting fired.
Yep, sacked.
Yeah, let's see. I got one that's labeled spec 2. Let's see what it says. Nope. I'm fired. That's
Fired.
it.
Well, we can
Gone.
take a look at the overall and go from there, maybe.
Yeah, well, the overall only has. We don't have any spec 2 guys. You got 3 masters, the masters podium there.
Oh.
Antonio, Jord, and Tom.
Have you sent them to me yet?
Actually, here,
I don't
let
think
me
so.
stop sharing, Stevie. I've got it on
Okay.
another screen.
All right.
Let's see if I can.
Oh, there we go. Teamwork.
Yeah, we've got Andrew taking the lead
Yep.
over Russ. Yeah, Russ struggled a lot, but I guess segueing into where we're at next week. But watch out for Russ at Navarra. He has
Yeah.
he's so far he's been really quick. I think it took me a while to beat his lap time and full speed. And he was in top split with us yesterday in the Monday race and managed a 9th place with a spin. So he's for whatever reason he's got pace at Navarra. So watch out for
That's
him.
a track I have. I'm gonna have to. I think I had to download it, or is it a free one? I can't remember what.
Yeah,
I don't
it's a free
think
one.
it's. Is it? Yeah,
Yep.
I've never run it ever, so I'm
First
looking
time for
forward
me
to
too.
that. Yeah,
And it's yeah we'll talk about it, but it's very tricky.
yeah.
And Josh Wilkie making some inroads after his P6. Don't see how many races he has.
Yeah.
I think he might be a couple races, or at least a race short. So he can make up a whole bunch of ground really quick.
Yep.
But yeah, it's been a close battle between Andrew and Russ. So I think that could come down to the wire in the last 2 races. And then we got Masters. That's closing up a little bit.
Yeah.
Between Antonio and Monty and Tom actually.
Yep. He's not too far back.
Nope. And then Jeff Richer as well. I think he might be short of 9 races. So actually, yeah, that's
Yeah, I don't think Jeff
within
has
100 points for all of them. So
yeah. So
I think it's a little spicy.
think Jeff
again.
might be sitting on 7 or 8 races. I don't remember.
I'm rooting for Jurg here just because of his paint jobs. I have to.
There was
Well, I mean,
3
you
or
should root
4
for,
of you guys.
Yeah, well, you should root for Antonio then, because Antonio does those. So
Yeah, I know. I saw that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
but yeah, for the Formula Ford one, yeah, we had like 5 of us,
Yeah.
I think, running it at one point.
Had
Yeah.
orange,
that's
a
awesome.
green. Yeah, it was funny. So, all right.
So yeah,
So now, where are we going this week, guys?
so these are at Lebanon, I think, right?
Yep.
Which is a fun track, especially in the V's. I'm kind of disappointed I won't be able to race there.
That one grew on me a little bit. I had to get in and drive it a few times, and I wasn't impressed at first, but it grew on me.
Yeah, it's the problem with that track is the are the sight lines. So the blind corners, turn 6 and like turn 9, I think. But yeah, the two uphill left-handers,
Yeah.
completely blind. The second one towards the end of the lap is I think Megan had had problems with that when we were there in the Formula Fords. But yeah, it's
Had to bring it up, huh?
I mean, she's here, so I was trying to involve everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, the very very difficult track. Although in the V's it'll be wild because they're probably flat out everywhere. So yeah, I'm sure they'll have a lot of fun there. Formula Fords are at Zandvoort, which that'll
Bring
be
it on.
Yeah,
Is that
it'll
the
be interesting in
national or
that
the
car. Full layout.
Full.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun. Every track is fun in that car because it actually as opposed to the SRF because the Formula Ford actually turns. As Megan can attest. Megan has a definitive preference between the two cars, I think.
Love the Formula Ford more than the SRF.
Yeah. Well, you like it to throw that rear end around all the time.
Yes, I wish the SRF would do that. It'd be really fun if it could.
It used to a little more than it does.
They don't call her Megan Oversteer for nothing.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's Zandvoort, that chicane that the V's are struggling with is going to be brutal in the Formula Fords.
I had a feeling because it's just the same car but quicker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the corners that we skipped in the SRFs are those are the more difficult parts, corners on the track. Especially I think it's like Masterbox is their master corner, most difficult corner on the track. So yeah, it will be. I'm sure there will be lots of incidents, but it should be a lot of fun too. The draft isn't that powerful in the Formula Fords, but yeah, should hopefully have some pack racing there. And then SRFs are at Navarra, as we mentioned.
I heard that is just a bunch of corners with straights between them and no common sense or flow or nothing. Yeah.
I don't know. It's my kind of track because it's a bunch of slow speed hairpins. Yeah. Which for whatever reason it kind of suits me. But we had an incredible race there last night in this race. So depending on who's involved in the battle, it can be a very intense, close racing, hard-fought battle. But it also has the potential to turn into something else because it's a bunch of late apex corners with a bunch of late apex hairpins. So the temptation is there to send it into, I don't know, half the corners on the track. So
and for anybody that doesn't know, the first race of every week, the midnight UTC time or whatever it is, that's the one we call the SOF Strength of Field race, where all the heavy hitters are going to be there. So if you want to try something to see where you stand, that first race of the week is one to get in.
Yep, first race of the week, and then the
Thursday.
Thursday at 19:45 GMT.
Yeah.
Is the other one, and actually that one's been more. We've been getting higher strength of fields in that race.
That one is a little easy for the Europeans and stuff. So
Yep. So if you can't make the midnight GMT race, we've got the Thursday at 19:45 GMT. So yeah, if you want to come out race with us, that'd be great. Always happy to have new people come out and race with us.
All right, guys. That covers last week and the upcoming week. Appreciate the replays. I know Jason spends a lot of time getting those highlights together. Really appreciate it. And Megan has been sitting there all nice and patient for us and appreciate it. As you see, Megan Overstreet is joining us this week. She's our sim racer streamer SCCA racer now, and if you know me, you know a lot of my passion is the sim to track and helping real world guys get in the sim and vice versa. And Megan is doing it. So it's going to be great to hear some of your background and highlights and your thoughts and everything. So tell us a little bit about how you started this thing called sim racing. What got you going?
Yeah, so I've always enjoyed auto racing since I was little, but I didn't get into iRacing until December of 2021. And basically I just happened to find a video on YouTube by Empty Box where he
Mm-hmm.
was doing an iRacing
Yeah,
video.
yeah,
And I was like, hey, what's this thing? I could probably do that since
yeah,
I can't do much real life stuff here locally because I'm just way too far away from track. So
yeah.
let's try the sim racing stuff. And I started out on a Logitech G29 wheel and just
As
on a
most of
single
us did.
monitor
Yep,
with
yep,
a computer chair that backed away from the brake pedal every time I used it.
yep. I think we've
But it
all
was
been
so,
there. Yeah,
oh
It's
yes, it
the
was so
yeah,
fun though. So I was like,
yeah,
all right, I'm getting a little serious with this. So let's step it up, get some better gear, an actual little rig that can not run away from you when I'm
yeah,
trying to race. So that makes life a lot easier. But
yeah.
I started out in the Formula V's, is where I spent most of the majority of my time in iRacing at.
If I remember right, some idiot kind of ran into you in a Formula V practice and then invited you to come race with us, right?
It was actually a race at Olton Park
A
where
race, okay.
we were,
even worse,
oh, I
Stevie.
want to say it was like
Yeah.
a 2.8K strength of field race. And we were coming down to the line on the backstretch, and we were 2 by 2, and you happened to try to bump draft me, which just it instantly turned me because we weren't perfectly straight with each other.
Yeah.
And after the race, you're like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that."
Yeah.
And hey, by the way, I got this league called the Weekend Warriors. You should come try it out. And I was like, I haven't tried any league racing, so I'll give that a shot. And in the very first Formula V race, I actually killed Stevie in
Payback.
NASCAR corner
That's
at
what
VI
payback feels like, Stevie. Yep.
unintentionally.
Yeah.
Unintentionally.
Oh, Megan, you don't got to lie anymore. You don't have to lie anymore.
We were close,
Yep.
and I let off a little bit later than I should have, and just barely got into him and spun him out.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had it coming, but yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. We laughed, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what you just mentioned that was your first foray into leagues, and you've been doing officials. What did you find there? How was the difference? What did you like? What did you like over here? You know, that how did they compare?
I love that there was much bigger fields because in officials you usually have 12 cars, so there's not that many people that you're racing against at one given time. So you don't have that depth of field that's there,
Yeah.
and the races are much shorter.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that at the Formula V races are 30 minutes. The spec racer and Formula Fords are 40 with a pit stop.
Yeah.
And that adds some more strategy and just a lot more flavor to it to me. So it makes it a lot more fun when you have a big field of cars and you have longer races, because I really do like longer races.
Have you done any endurance or any other longer racing leagues or anything?
Not leagues. I did the Daytona 24-hour race with Jason this year. We were in the Ferrari. Was it 296 GT3?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was not a fan of that car.
Me either.
I did not like it too much, but it was fun because once again, just long race. You're having to drive smart and keep the car under you and not wreck it, so you can make it to the finish, and that's really fun.
Yep. She brought it home for us.
Yeah. Awesome.
Driving at like because we were in the European session. So I think it finished at like 7 or 8 a.m. I think.
Wow.
Is that right? So yeah, and granted, you're on the night shift, but still, that's
Yeah. The
so it's
funniest thing was, though, I did all my practicing thinking, like, oh, it's going to be like they're going to do the race during the same hours. So, like, nighttime would be nighttime
Oh, yeah.
in America.
Yeah.
And literally almost all the running I did was during the daytime in the sim. And I was like, well, it's a good thing I practiced at night for this.
Yeah, I think she got in the car maybe at like dawn
Yeah.
in sim time.
Yeah.
So she missed all the night driving, unfortunately. Um, I got the night shift in that race. But yeah, I think yeah, when Megan first got in the car, I think I had already done, I don't know, like 10 hours of practice or something. And I think her second lap she was already faster than me. So
Somehow I'm not surprised, but
yeah, I mean that's the joke we always have. Whenever Megan says that she just bought the truck, that's when she's at her most dangerous.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know how you do it, but it seems like you excel whenever you're just picking something up, you're going into the unknown. Whenever something's the most difficult, that's when
can't be afraid of something you don't know, right?
Exactly. What's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, just throw it.
And I guess tying that into to what you've already done and what you're going to do this weekend, how is that kind of translated? Do you kind of find you the same ability there in real life as well?
Oh yeah. So like one of the biggest things that I noticed in going from sim racing to doing stuff in real life was the racecraft that I've developed through sim racing made me absolutely comfortable in the real car. So there was like no nerves whatsoever because I was like, oh, I've done this, thousands of races in the sim. There's going to be G forces in real life. So that's going to be the only real difference that I'm going to feel physically. So everything else I've already got down. I'm good there. So
Yeah.
it's going to be very, very fun. Just enjoy it while I can because you never know how many races you're going to get and all of
Yeah.
that stuff and what luck you're going to have with the car staying in one piece and not having breakdowns and whatnot. But luckily for my competition driving school, we had no physical or mechanical issues whatsoever.
Nice.
Well, let's back up a little bit then. And how did you get to go to driver's school and get on the real track?
Yeah, so in the Ray Sports Racing League on Tuesday nights, Grass Paddock Motorsports sponsored the T4 Jettas, and
Her favorite
after
car.
that's that car is
Favorite.
very hard to drive,
Yeah.
but it provides some really close racing. I'll give it that because it's hard to pass, but everybody. When you're fast, you're almost all on that like same even kill. So it provides really close racing. But Grass Paddock Motorsports was sponsoring an entire year, 4 seasons, and the person who did the best that was non-licensed and one person that was licensed in the SCCA got a free ride in one of the Grass Paddock Motorsports cars to do a competition driving school for the non-licensed person and for any race weekend for the licensed person. And I happened to win the unlicensed, so I got to do my competition driving school at Waterford Hills.
Yeah. Frank Swartz and Trenton Kramer kind of saw you through that one, if I remember right. So.
That's correct. They did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
Especially Trenton. Oh my goodness, that man had to work his tail off keeping 4 cars on track that weekend.
Yeah, I got to meet him in person at VIR at the runoffs, and he only had, him and Frank were both there, and he was working both cars. But yeah, he was definitely, he was a worker. But good guy.
He's a really good guy.
So tell us a little more of this driver's school. What did you do? How did you already said a little bit about how it compared to the sim world, but Expand on that a little bit. What people would expect going from the sim to actually getting out on track like you did.
Yeah, so at least at the Waterford Hills Competition Driving School, they are basically teaching you everything you need to know to be able to go and do SCCA races. So they're going to teach you how to be on track with other cars, because lots of folks, they usually start out in doing like track days where they're on the track by themselves, and so they don't have that side by side type driving with other people in real life experience yet. So they cover that part of it, all the flagging stuff you need to know for paying attention to quarter marshals, the flagger at the flag stand. They run you through all sorts of drills and everything during all the sessions, which that was one of the really good things about Waterford Hills, is the amount of track time we had.
Yeah.
I want to say over the course of the weekend, we had about 5-6 hours in total, thereabouts, on track itself, which is really, really good.
That's good. Yeah, that's real good.
And the best part of that was we got to experience all the weather conditions, which I loved a lot. We started both mornings out in the rain, which was really good, because that was like the first experience I ever had in a race car on a racetrack was in the wet. So no extra
Instant
pressure.
heaven for Megan.
Yeah.
Instant heaven.
Yeah.
Yes, I was having a blast.
You had more experience driving in the rain than any of them. It was sim, but you had it, yeah. And by the way, Trenton is in the YouTube chat and says hi. So
hi, Trenton.
Good. Yeah, good to see you, bud.
We'll get him on here soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
He's on the list, most definitely.
Like, I guess, Megan, how you talking about like the flagging and the marshals, how, because like in the sim you get a pop-up and you have a spotter in your ear saying yellow flag or whatever. How is it I guess trying to concentrate on driving and try to be on the lookout for any flags or yellow flags, or the marshal's trying to tell you something?
Yeah, they at least the instructors that we had, they really stressed making sure when you're coming up to a corner, you're at least glancing at the quarter marshal stand, just to make sure they're not showing some kind of flag.
Mm-hmm.
And so I picked up on that really quick and was able to multitask, since we do that a lot in the sim with all of our pop-ups and all of our other displays that we have on screen, and also when we're racing with Discord up, and we're talking to each other and stuff. So you're constantly having to multitask. So being able to already have that skill there before doing it in real life made it really easy to be able to, like, okay, I'm coming up to the corner, flag stand's clear, good. I'm gonna go full tilt and have some fun through these corners. Versus, okay, they're showing the yellow flag, so there's something going on over here, or the slick surface flag, red stripe, yellow stripes on it, in debris. So it was really good that the sim aspect of that gave me that skills to make it really easy, because some people struggle with that, or they just never even pay attention to the flag marshals whatsoever, and then they have some issues that they got to overcome later on because of it.
Yeah, it's so easy to get focused and locked in when you're brand new in a car on a track, and like I had never thought about it. I heard that, but multitasking in the sim and all of our overlays and everything, and how much it helps you, that's really interesting.
That's a good point. Because actually, now that I think about it, you probably have a lot less to focus on in real-world driving, because you've got, you don't have
it's
you don't
just
have
the flaggers,
us talking about random stuff in your ear for the entire race.
Little distractions here and there,
yelling and cursing and screaming and stuff. So
no,
never.
Well, I know you have a YouTube channel and you stream your race. I think what you have, like 8 or 9 streams from your weekend up there, something like that.
Yes, I had. I did 9 videos in total, which ran the gambit of high quality and low quality because learning about recording equipment in real life is a lot different from the sim stuff. So there
Yeah.
was that aspect. I let my GoPro batteries die twice on day one because I never
Yeah.
thought like I should recharge in between sessions, which
Yeah.
it was kind of hard to do because as soon as we'd get out off the track, we'd have to go and see our instructors right away. So it was pretty much stop the car, hop
Yeah.
out, go over there, do that, then back in the car again to go back out on track again. So
Yeah.
there was not much time to.
You had a few other things to think about. Yeah.
Yeah, and I never thought about doing that during our lunch breaks. Like, hey, I should probably hook my charger up to that GoPro so I don't have it die in the middle of a session. Which it sucked because I lost the first session of the day in the full wet because we forgot to hit the record button.
No.
We were too excited. I know. I was like, oh, I was because it was a really fun session, but. Then at the end of the day, my fastest laps of the day weren't on camera because that battery and that second GoPro that Trenton let me use died too.
And well, Trenton is saying, "Don't dog on my GoPro 3."
I was very appreciative that he had it because it would have sucked to have lost half the day's recordings because I let my battery die, which was my fault.
Yeah. Well, that is awesome. So if people want to see you stream your sim races as well, though, right? You upload those. And
yeah, I upload those on YouTube.
Yeah. So what's your channel?
It's Megumi, Megumei.
Just Megumi.
Yes, Megumi. Just Megumi.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. And you guys want to throw out anything else at her? Adam, you're pretty quiet over there. That's kind of not normal.
Well, I know. And normally I would have questions, but Stevie, you're getting a lot better at this question asking thing, man. I'm trying to think of we've already talked about the big distractions between the sim and the real world.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was going to be what you asked Jason was, okay, thank you, Joe, or whatever his name is in the sim world. Thank you for telling me there's a car off on the inside 2 corners ahead. Megan doesn't get that. So yeah, that was one of them. And, yeah, okay. I got one. So, what made you decide to start doing this, Megan, in real life? What was your passion, your drive to get out and start driving the real life car? Was it this? Was it this that did it?
Yeah, it was literally the sim that actually provided the avenue for me to go and do real life racing. So since I live about 6 hours away from the closest road race tracks up at Hallett Raceway in Oklahoma. So it's a long drive. So since I can't do anything locally, I always thought like the real life side of it was just out of the question for me. That was one of the main things of why I started sim racing. But when I won the scholarship award through Grass Paddock Motorsports to go drive the competition driving school, having that little push to get me off into that deep end was exactly what I needed to be able to say, hey, yeah, there is this other avenue where I can rent a car, show up to the track, and I don't have to worry about hauling a car to the track, keeping it running, taking care of all the maintenance and upkeep. They take care of all that for me. All I got to do is just show up, drive, and say, hey, can we hook up that rear sway bar? Because I'd like more rotation in this car.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it's crazy hearing everybody's perspective, no matter who comes on the show of what sim racing has done for them in real life, and it's crazy to hear exactly how much sim racing does have an effect. Like on the real life stuff, especially nowadays.
Yeah, and they just keep improving it. So
it's becoming more and more real life. Sim racing is so.
Yep.
And one of the big things that blew my mind was the amount of time I spent in my rig working on my FOV, the field of view. whenever I got into the Mini Cooper and I sat down in the car and I was sitting in the seat and I was like, this looks exactly like my rig, except for I don't have a wood floor sitting in the real car.
Yeah.
And I just could not get over that for a while about how exactly identical it was in the sim, looking through the dash of a car, seeing all the things that I would see. And I was like, that is really cool that they are able to model that like that, and that real life matches up to it.
Yep.
Listen, everybody that's listening to this podcast right now, what Megan just said, go into your FOV calculator, measure from where you're sitting to your screen, put that thing in your FOV and send it, because what she just said is exactly the case, and I've heard it from so many other people. Make sure to get that FOV right, and it will change how you race. 100%.
If it takes 10 hours to get it right, spend those 10 hours to get it right.
Yep.
I got one more question for you, Megan, and this one comes from Trenton. He says, what was something that exceeded your expectation about the entire experience on track or in the paddock?
Oh, the biggest thing was just like the euphoria of being out on track.
Mm-hmm.
I can't explain, like, it wasn't like nervousness. It was just pure glee, if that's the best way to put it, of how incredibly fun it was to be out there pushing a car to what my limits were.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, I have not been that happy. I'm pretty sure you can see my smile in the real life videos many times through my helmet, because that smile did not wear off at all for a good solid 2 weeks after I came back home.
Yeah, I totally understand. Given a little my story just like that, I grew up around racing. It was a life dream of mine to do it. My dad was a mechanic on a race car, and said I literally grew up at the track with SCCA. And when I went to my driver's school and I got out on the track the first time, I had tears coming down. It was just because it meant so much to me, you know. So, just something to never forget. But awesome. I'm so glad you had the chance to do that, Megan.
I'm glad I was given the opportunity.
Yeah. And you've got a race this coming weekend, if I remember right.
Yes, it's my first race weekend.
First race.
I'm super, super excited because I'm ready to get out on track, be able to use second gear in the Mini Cooper this time. And be able to go full tilt, wheel to wheel with other people. So that's going to be really, really exciting.
Yes, and videos to come of it?
Oh, definitely. I'm taking my GoPro out there with me. And I'll be charging it because it's very important to have battery life in a camera. I actually even bought 2 spare batteries just as double backups, just in case.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. You learn every time you go. So
yes.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you even took off work tonight to come do this, and I can't say how much I appreciate you coming in with us, sharing some time, and helping us kick off, get this YouTube stream, this racing line on its feet. And you and the others like you are really helping propel this new project we got going. So super appreciated, Megan.
You're welcome.
And with that, anybody you would like to give a shout out? I'll take Adam's words and broadcast.
Those are my words, Stevie.
As always, like I say when I do the interviews and the races, thank you for putting on the league, everybody that's putting on the race broadcast, because it's awesome being able to go back and watch your race and see yourself on screen too.
Yeah.
And it's just cool. So being able to see the broadcasts, everybody out there that's watching them, of course, Frank and Trenton at Grass Paddock Motorsports for taking good care of me out on the racetrack and everything. And really my family for putting up with me, because they had to endure a lot of me just talking about race cars, and I can't wait to go back in August. And this is back in April 29th. And I'm already talking about August. They're like, girl, you need to calm down. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. Guys, it's another week. Episode 3 already. And
I know.
We're growing. We keep getting
I'm
more
excited.
and more views and everything. So if you're out there, share us with your friends and family and hit that subscribe and we will see you on the other side. Good night, guys.
Next week.
Night.